Tonight at 5, police arrested a man for shooting and killing another man who was sitting in his car on the Lower South Hill last weekend. What court documents say about how police tracked him down.
An incoming storm brings rain, wind, and mountain snow to the region on Sunday.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited the Oval Office for the second time since his explosive meeting with President Trump in February. How it went this time. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We kick things off at this hour with a check of the forecast and Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo standing by in the Outdoor Weather Center. Jeremy, you're tracking some rain and even potentially some mountain snow heading our way.
Yeah, I think most of the snow stays much higher in the mountains this weekend than it did, say, last weekend. But I do think we pick up another decent round of it. Temperatures still staying pretty mild, 56 degrees right now. So even as we've cooled off this evening, we're still warmer than we were yesterday. Kind of cool the way that works. Mid-50s pretty widespread in eastern Washington and North Idaho. Still hanging on to the 60s out in central Washington, but not for much longer. Wind was a little bit breezy today. Wind now starts dying down as the sun goes down. We catch a bit of a break tomorrow, but eventually we wind up seeing our next storm system move in on Sunday. A little bit of light shower activity. I'd say if you're in the Silver Valley or just north or south of it, you have another couple of hours of rain before it all moves out. Once it's gone, tomorrow winds up nice, a little bit cloudier, but nice nonetheless. A couple of stray showers move in tomorrow evening. Tomorrow night we get the rain. We wake up to it on Sunday, and by Sunday afternoon it's a few scattered showers exiting the region before we head into a, we'll say, much calmer and much drier start to the week. So a little bit of a roller coaster ride here, but here you go. 53 degrees tomorrow, 54 and rainy on Sunday, and then back in the low 50s on Monday as we dry back out across the region.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the show. Less than a week after a man was shot inside his car on Spokane's Lower South Hill, police say they have caught the suspected killer. Spokane police say Derek Schaefer was shot while he sat in his car on Sunday. He is now in the Spokane County Jail. KREM 2 Shannon Mowdy has new details from court records. Shannon?
Andre Moore did not appear in court this afternoon. Instead, his hearing was continued because he is sick. But a judge did find probable cause that he killed Schaefer. Court records show surveillance video and witnesses tie Andre Moore to the murder of Derek Schaefer. It happened Sunday just before 1 in the morning on South McClellan near the Hampton Inn. Two witnesses told detectives they heard 3 to 4 gunshots, then saw a man wearing a black hoodie and a half mask walking away from a car with broken glass beside it. The shooting was also captured on the hotel's security cameras, showing the suspect walk up to Schaefer's car and firing several shots, according to court records. Investigators say the clothing matched that described by witnesses. Detectives were able to determine the suspect may have been at Ridpath Apartments before the shooting. They were able to find surveillance video showing Moore in the same clothing. Investigators also interviewed Schaefer's ex-girlfriend, who lived a block from the crime scene and said Moore was at her apartment that night. She told them Schaefer came to her house and honked his horn, wanting drugs. The woman then told detectives Moore later left, and then she heard gunshots and then heard Schaefer was dead on a police scanner app. She said she knew Moore was involved because he told her current boyfriend he was the one who did it, claiming Schaefer was trying to break into her home. Court records also showed Moore has a distinctive facial tattoo noted on video from Ridpath and the crime scene. Investigators say from his movements on the security video, it appears Moore was stalking and quite possibly attempting to ambush Derek Schaefer hours before his death. Moore was arrested Thursday sleeping in the Brown Street Viaduct. He is expected to face a judge Monday. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
New tonight, the man is behind bars after allegedly shooting at someone in Hilliard Thursday morning. According to deputies, 73-year-old Brian Reed allegedly shot at a man's car, hitting his driver's side window. Deputies later arrested Reed and took multiple firearms from the trailer he was living in. No one was hurt. Reed, who is already a felon, is now facing first-degree assault and unlawful possession of a firearm charges. Police arrested a Pocatello man in connection with a bomb threat made to the Idaho state capitol earlier this month. Pocatello police say a 58-year-old man made multiple threats to the capitol, claiming a bomb had been planted in the building. The capitol was then evacuated. Investigators did not find any explosives in the building. Police say 2 other voicemails with similar threats were made from that same number. Police booked the man into the Bannock County Jail yesterday on 1 felony charge of false reports of explosives in public or private places. WashDOT says they are in need of financial support now more than ever before. When it comes to repaving roads and responding to emergencies, they say the money's just not there. For the next 2 years, Washington is allocating $900 million out of the state's budget for the restoration of bridges and highways. But WashDOT says that money does not always go where they want it to. The fund for roadway restoration often ends up going toward traffic incidents instead.
As those emergent needs come up, they need to be addressed. And so those normally come out of the preservation program. We are getting prepared to, if there is additional funding that would become available, that we are ready to go out with projects.
This comes as Governor Bob Ferguson signed a near $3 billion state budget package into law earlier this year. That includes a 6-cent gas tax increase, with those funds going toward construction projects. The man accused of breaking into the state capitol and setting a fire is undergoing a mental health evaluation. That alleged vandal was supposed to be in court today, but didn't make it. Well, you have to look pretty hard, but there are some signs of damage around the capitol. The most complicated fix will be to the nearly 100-year-old carpet inside the reception room. It was custom stitched and has been in that same location since the 1920s. Investigators say Gunnar Schubert broke in last Sunday night. He remains in custody while he undergoes a mental health evaluation. He was set to enter pleas to the malicious mischief and burglary charges today, but that won't happen until he completes that evaluation. The lawsuit challenging Idaho's ban on transgender athletes competing in women's sports will continue despite an attempt to dismiss the case. Plaintiff Lindsay Hecox no longer wanted to continue the case after facing negative public scrutiny. A district judge ruled it cannot be dismissed for lack of precedent, and if it were to be dismissed, critical questions will be left unanswered. The case now moves to the U.S. Supreme Court. Oral arguments are expected in January. Coeur d'Alene's Police Chief Lee White is speaking out about his retirement. Lee is set to retire on January 14th. He has been the police chief there since September of 2014. According to the city of Coeur d'Alene, under his leadership, the city saw a 78% reduction in crime. Chief White says, quote, "I know the officers of the Coeur d'Alene Police Department will continue to serve with pride and excellence, and it was the honor of my life to serve them and our citizens as chief," end quote. Pullman's PBS station, KWSU-TV, is going off the air after a loss of nearly $2 million in federal funding. Northwest Public Broadcasting said it must now realign the budget, and discontinuing the station will reduce costs by $1.8 million. The channel is expected to end its operations by December 31st. And here is tonight's schedule on KREM 2 Plus. We have 3 new segments, including a new killer cases story involving a Florida couple and suffocation inside a suitcase. You can watch all those and more by downloading KREM 2 Plus on your TV for free and streaming right now. All right, coming up on KREM 2 News tonight, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited the White House today. How his meeting with President Trump impacts the Ukrainian war effort. And we revisit one Spokane home that transforms for Halloween, how its popularity has grown over the years.